I literally never thought in a million years I would ever say this, but I don't think I'm gonna have zucchini this year. Okay, so we are gonna do a zone 3 tour in July, beginning of July. It's Canada Day, July 1st when I'm filming this. So to give you guys a little bit of an idea where we're at, some stuff is way farther ahead than it normally is, and then other stuff is much farther behind. I would say vast majority is farther behind because it's been very cold, very wet, with next to no heat, and this kind of like overcast with not a lot of sun. Also pretty common right now, but if there wasn't rain and it wasn't cold and it wasn't overcast, we'd have fires. So it's a catch-22. Do you want fires or do you want just cloudy days? I'll take cloudy days over fires. So let's get the tour started. Me and the puppers are officially editing this video. I have to apologize though. There's a lot of awkward cuts. A couple reasons why. My address is plastered everywhere because the city of Saskatoon wants your address on every single freaking bucket they send you. So that's a problem. I also have a light post that has my street on it, and I was not very conscious while filming this because I'm kind of like ick right now. I don't feel very good, so it's paying too much attention to where the camera was facing. And then also I film on weekends, so between vehicle traffic and human foot traffic, there's like so many times where I just have to like stop talking and then refilm it and then stop talking and refilm it because people like to drive their cars fast and loud, which I can appreciate. And then obviously people walking by are always very curious as to why I'm in my garden with a camera, so that's always fun to explain. This entire space is all just, well, for the most part, perennials. So I do have some random garlic in here I need to take the gardenscapes off of. I do have like amaranth and peonies, which obviously are on their way out because we're past that season. This front portion I have annuals in, so everything from those really tall marigolds like the African styles to cosmos, and I want to say that this is 4 o'clocks. And then other than that, yeah, the salvia is doing wonderful. We have sedum, which is not flowering yet, but it flowers in the fall and it's gorgeous. There's 2 plants kind of there and there, and then the yarrow, which is like, how beautiful is that? It's so pretty. I'm not gonna have like any lilies this year because I don't want to get too close because it's so gross. Okay, maybe I'm gonna have to get close. There is lily beetles and I gotta do a video on them, but I'm past the point of no return with these guys. Even being able to kill them, like, that is insane. So unfortunate, insane. So my lilies are just non-existent this year. Okay, so this is totally random, but do you guys remember this space from last year? Well, I put a bed here, not because I didn't enjoy working with this soil. The soil itself is fine, but obviously I can put more stuff in here more effectively. I'm doing beans in here again, so these are all bush beans once more because bush beans do so well in this space. So that is what's going to be in here. I need to weed clearly this portion, and I weeded that portion, but I could have sworn I weeded this portion as well. No idea why this portion's popping off. But yeah, this is all just bush beans. In here, I have some flowers. So these are sunflowers on this side. That's amaranth. This, I don't know what this is. I got it from West Coast. I obviously planted them, and I lost the labels. So that's wonderful. These all are, I want to say, nasturtium. No, I lied. These are all 4 o'clocks, and that is some sort of flower as well. And then these are obviously tomatoes. Also, if you don't care what your weeds look like what your soil surface looks like, just do like a drop and pull. That's what I do, particularly in these spaces where no one is, because if you do drop and pull, it's kind of like green manure and it acts as a mulch. Also, this plant, I'm like 99.9% sure is a weed. It is over 5 feet at this point. For whatever reason, lily beetles, oh my god, they're everywhere. the bees love these things. Like, they haven't even bloomed yet, and they're just like hanging around these really small flower clusters. So I don't know if you guys know what this is. It literally, I'm not even joking, I didn't put anything here, it just showed up. No idea where it came from though. Okay, I have to show these because I just think they're the coolest thing, but these are literally black petunias. So the center is black and the outside is white. Like, how am I the only one that's obsessed with these? Because that is so cool. I can't remember. No, I do have the tag. Do I have the tag? I could have sworn I kept the tag. Maybe I didn't. Dang it. Here's actually one of those Africans in bloom, so you can kind of see like the height of it. And then this is what the flowers look like. They're just like big balls. This one's actually quite small, but they will get bigger than that. And that's just kind of what they look like in general. Of course, the things that have as spillers are not even close to spilling. So here we are with absolute monstrosity. But hopefully my spillers will eventually spill. And those spillers are lobelia, so... Okay, so this is what I was talking about when I said some things are really far behind. I personally have never had cucumbers this far behind. So they're all at 1 to 2 true leaves. That is it. That is all, folks, which is insane. So that's what I mean when I'm saying like things are far behind in some cases, because that's crazy. Unfortunate, but there we are. These guys obviously not behind. They were inside of that cold frame up until literally a week ago when I pulled them off, and we've already got some action. So these are pumpkins, and we're just gonna let them do their thing in here. Those are sunflowers, but these are all pumpkins. Okay, so this section is tomatoes and raspberries. I literally just planted the tomatoes here because these raspberries, the intent eventually will be for this whole thing to be covered in raspberries. I do have sunflowers in there. These are volunteers. Fun fact, volunteer sunflowers. And I'm okay with it. If you can survive the winter in Canada, you can come back again. Rhubarb. This was transplanted last year. That was that little one that I transplanted, and that's what it's turning out to be, so that's awesome. Purple broccoli and more raspberry. Cosmos, and this is borage. So that's a big plant. We'll see what that turns out like. You're supposed to bring in quite a few pollinators, so that was kind of the intent there. Also think the flowers are incredibly pretty. This here is radishes. Now, obviously they've bloomed. If you did not know, you can allow these to bloom and you can eat the seed pods in a stir fry. You can also just let them bloom and then make seed pods and then take the seeds to obviously use for next year. But these all bolted. Like I said, it's been cold, but they bolted because, honest to goodness, it's just the weather's been absolutely insane. Okay, this is once again all tomatoes. And yes, they're doing very well. I do have a decent amount of tomato action on here already. I'm going to show you guys in the back a little bit more of what's going on. But yeah, I do have nasturtium flowering. These nasturtiums were all planted by seed. So again, this is one of those beds that is like freakishly far along compared to the rest of the garden. And this, I think the reason these ones are behind so far ahead is because I did have the black containers around these, which I think helped with heat and just protection. And then I left the black containers on this year. They're right there, you can see. And if you don't know what I did here, it's just the bottom's cut off and I use it to protect the ceilings. But I think the extra heat from that actually has made the tomatoes themselves go absolutely bananas, which is perfectly fine. I'm okay with this. I need to think about pruning some of this. Check out my pruning video if you don't know what or how to prune. So for example, this would be normally what you would remove. What you actually want to remove is this, because this isn't going to produce flowers. And yeah, so I gotta get in there and clean this baby up. More borage, much farther along. This is a transplant borage. The other ones I did start from seed, so that's why these are farther along. I'm so excited to see when those actually flower. And then this is a mixed bag. So this is my garlic bed. This usually is all garlic. My garlic just got decimated last year because there wasn't enough snow to insulate everybody. And so everyone's gonna hard up right now. And I'm not the only one who experienced this. Apparently some of my neighbors also experienced this, so that's not ideal. This is a squash, butternut squash in particular. And then, yeah, to counteract the fact that my garlic is very sporadic, I did fill this in with transplants and seeds. This is my corn patch. Okay, so corn would be fine in here because I did do quite a few rows. I've never done it in the city before, so I'll see how this works out. I will report back to you guys. But essentially, that corn came up because it was a completely different brand than this corn. This brand of seeds I got did not germinate, so I had to go in and reseed them. And so this is where we are with that whole situation, not far along. So this is probably going to be a problem. If they had all germinated, I actually think it would have been fine. But now that we're in this situation, I'm not too sure how it's going to turn out. My hopes are not up. Here in the front, I have this on because my sparrows are insane and they will eat all my beets, all my carrots, all of that fun stuff. So these are obviously carrots and then beets. They were chaos sown, meaning they were sown with zero rhyme or reason. I do need to get in and potentially thin these, but I'm gonna see how it pans out here. I have this squash that I'm going to have to redirect out, obviously, because I want to keep this on because of birds. More beets, random zinnia, random marigold, random cosmo, another squash. So the idea with all the flowers, by the way, is just I want it to look pretty and appealing while having, obviously, producing produce. So if it's pretty, I'm more proud of it, if that makes sense. This monstrosity. Okay, so this is what I do. This is literally wedding tool that I bought off Amazon. This is its second or third year, and I use this with all my Brassica species. So we have cabbages in here, we have cauliflowers in here, more cauliflower, we have some really interesting kale, we have purple broccoli, purple cabbage, you name it. So it's all inside of this, and yeah, I just leave it on all freaking year because I don't like to deal with the worms. So celery on this side, and then amaranth kind of sticking out here. I am gonna do a video on the transitioning of my lawn to clover and kind of what year 2 looks like for these, because yeah, it's going to an extent, so I'll do a separate video on those ones. This is kind of what I did last year, slightly different. I put dragon's breath beans in here instead. They are runner, or like a pole bean, so they will run up. There's also runner beans in this mix, and then marigolds, actually saved seed marigolds around the entire edge of the plot, which I think is going to look so cool when things start coming up. But obviously that all takes time. So there's a couple of cosmos sprinkled in. But yeah, this whole thing, if you did not know, like last year, it was literally all plant. And it actually looks pretty darn good. This random radish is very obviously ready to go in there too. So yeah, that's what he looks like. Roses are beginning to pop off. So pretty. This plant has grown so much since I first got the house. It's crazy. This is potatoes. Literally all potatoes. These are the potatoes that I had last year, the leftovers from that, thrown in here. These are nasturtiums, obviously, mixed in, but yeah, this is where they're at. These were sown with me long. A lot of people I know, their potatoes are nowhere near this height. The only reason that they're here is because it's in a raised bed, so everything's like a little bit warmer. That's just the way she rolls. This is the other half of that. This had like cool climate crops in it, so I do need to replant and do something with this space. I'm just not sure what yet. I've got a random watermelon there, so we will see. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the backyard. The whole garden, like I will say, if you have an in-ground garden, the stuff I have is going to be farther along because it's warmer. Particularly this summer, they're not heat stressed at all, and it's just rain and cold temps. So they're okay. So now I'm going to show you the backyard. The whole garden, like I will say, if you have an in-ground garden, the stuff I have is going to be farther along because it's warmer. Particularly this summer, they're not heat stressed at all, and it's just rain and cold temps, so they're doing, you know, shockingly well despite the fact that it's not warming up, but it's because they're in raised beds, containers, that sort of thing. So if you're looking at my garden and you're like, mine is nowhere near that far along, it's literally because the fact that things are in containers, and I'm able to keep up with watering, and they're not heat stressed while in the containers. Because sometimes I find that if our Junes are warm, that everything in containers in like raised beds, for example, tends to kind of look a little bit like it seems to be the same as like the stuff in ground for a while, because I think of the heat stress, but because we don't have the heat stress, and if anything we have cold stress, which seems to be not as big of a deal. I've got some monstrosity plants back here, but don't get discouraged if yours don't look like this. Like I said, this is a complete fluke that mine are even this big. Number one is my beautiful masterpiece. That is literally, you're disgusting. That is literally a pineapple. I'm gonna zoom in on it. That is a pineapple. There's a pineapple from the grocery store. You're welcome. This is, oh, where's actually, I don't even know where those are right now. Oh, they're right there. That needs to go with full sun, but that is actually a dragon fruit from the grocery store. Begonia, fuchsia, see, rain, dog, and then succulents I've had for a bajillion years, and a dog that is needy AF. Number one is my beautiful masterpiece. That is literally, you're disgusting. That is literally a pineapple. I'm gonna zoom in on it. That is a pineapple. There's a pineapple from the grocery store. You're welcome. This is, oh, where's actually, I don't even know where those are right now. Oh, they're right there. That needs to go with full sun, but that is actually a dragon fruit from the grocery store. Begonia, fuchsia, see, rain, dog, and then succulents I've had for a bajillion years, and a dog that is needy AF. The hanging basket I have with the DIY self-watering doodads plus the special soil. This is where we're at. Beautiful, beautiful. So great, looking good. Another really bizarre, weird petunia. Like, why are you so beautiful? And that is a dead Gerber daisy that I bought for 50% off, and I thought I could revive it, but obviously I did not revive it because it's very much so dead. This dog, like I said, is very needy. Oh yeah, this is just pretty. This, by the way, this will just be hanging by the time I do like an August tour. This is where the peppers are at. These are all jalapenos, and yeah, that's just, I've got fruits and I've got peppers. That's about it. They're in self-watering containers the same way I did them last year because they seem to be hunky-dory. This is a new installment. So this is a Vigo bed that they sent me. It is an insulated Vigo bed, meaning it's like a double wall with air in between. The idea is it's supposed to regulate temperatures better. So it's a random bamboo piece of plastic. Bamboo stake thing, plastic. Anyways, this is insulated, so it keeps everything like warmer in the fall and then cooler in the summer is kind of the idea. And then inside of this is just like a montage of things I started and things I obviously seeded. So those are morning glories. These are not as invasive, or they're not invasive at all compared to what some of you guys have experienced with these. So just a heads up there, these can be an absolute pain in Ontario. Once you have them, you'll never get rid of them. Kind of like some husbands. These are all sunflowers, amaranth, flowers. These nasturtiums, I'll get you a better view of those nasturtiums. These are the variegated nasturtiums. They're not showing up that great on the camera, but I love these things. They're so pretty to me. This is like a tall plant collection. So I do have some smaller stuff, but this is amaranth, which will end up being huge. And then these are marigolds. This is not staying here. This has to go somewhere else. There's a giant rhubarb plant in the back. Those are all Chinese lanterns, which are the bane of my existence. I wish I never would have planted those. Zinnias are kind of all over. That is another like cut flower that I got from West Coast Seeds that the label went Kaputskis on. So I'm waiting to see what that is. It's going to be beautiful when it flowers, I'm sure. This was a runway for my dog. He thought that would be well, this wasn't there, but he thought that was a runway, so everything planted there is dead. I need to replant that, obviously. Chamomile. Dog that I rescue dog that's old. We don't know how old he is. He's old AF. These are all just flowers. This is a tomato. My neighbor started mowing, but she stopped, so maybe she's done now. I don't know. We will find out shortly if she's in it. Anyways, okay, so these are my tomatoes. These are huge. Like, that is a single plant, I promise you. That is also a single plant. I'm blaming it on this. I'm pretty sure, because we've been having so many fires lately, that this fire is warming up this cement and rock. And just, I have these pretty close together. I actually had chairs here, so that's why I think this is like that, to be honest, because the nights never get cold for it. It stays pretty warm. So yeah. These guys, obviously flower pot. I'm going to be doing a video on the color red and tomatoes for you guys, and the science, I guess, behind that. Tomatoes. Oh, and by the way, these tomatoes are all like unique varieties, special ones. You have to forgive me. I had people over last night, so I still have some of the chairs out, but this entire space is 2 Vigo beds, ginormous trellis, and my literal goal was just to pack this full with plants. So it's a mix of tomatoes, nasturtiums, cosmos, marigolds, morning glories, coleus, you name it. It's a Mod Podge of everything. These, by the way, are wonderful if you plant them for Christmas wreaths. They actually dry out very nicely. Anyways, fun fact there. And then I have in here as well pole beans, nasturtiums, morning glories again. This one's just climbing up there. I have some squash as well. By the way, this is blistering. That's completely okay. Oregano, and then nasturtium. Like I said, I'm just piling this up because I want it to look really nice and pretty. And this probably is not going to look good till about August because it's too freaking cold. Okay, so this is my experiment. Each one of these beds are planted identically. There's different bottoms in each one. So wood, that one is wood bottom, leaf bottom, straight soil, and then cardboard and soil. So we'll see which ones yield the best results. But these I got from, these are to keep my dogs out, but these little cage things I got from Lee Valley. And let me tell you, the freaking sparrows cannot get at that. Bush beans, that is, I don't know, that's like a kale. There's supposed to be literal zucchini in there. None of it came up. I don't know why. It's so bizarre. Like, when have you ever not had zucchini come up? Carrots, zinnias, beans, oh no, those are radishes. I lied. Those are radishes. Radishes, that's right. That's basil. And then tomatoes in the back. Sunflowers in the very back row as well. Here I have lettuce again, beans, radish, and then basil in there. one random potato. I'm pretty sure my husband did that. I'm gonna blame that on him. And then tomatoes. I have cucumbers in these as well, but again, cucumbers are not germinated yet back here. Like, I have no idea what's going on. I think it's too cold. It's too cold. I know what's going on. It's too cold. So that's what's going on in this direction. The morning glories that have planted on those trellises have come up, so that's nice. I also do have basil in both of these. So the basils, there's basil. The basil looks haggard because, again, the sparrows eat this. I tried those whirly things. Didn't work. I tried snakes. That snake actually works. Those beets are fine. These ones are fine because there is a snake right there. No snake there, and look at those beets. They're like chewed within an inch of their freaking lives. So, fun fact, those snakes from Amazon work for stopping the freaking birds. I am going to be mulching these all with the same mulch. So the big thing here is I don't mulch until my seeds are up, because I always get nervous on like seedling depth and being able to see where things are at, and that's my own issue. You can mulch, of course, way longer before this, way sooner than what I did, but I will be mulching these soon because I think what's up is up. Unfortunately, I literally never thought in a million years I would ever say this, but I don't think I'm gonna have zucchini this year. Now, have those words ever left a human's mouth? Apparently at least mine. Because yeah, literally none of them germinated. Anyway, so this, one thing I will say here is I started a lot of seeds in this. You can see them kind of like in and amongst the freaking chickweed. So to weed this properly, I have to be very careful as to like what I'm disturbing. And unfortunately the chickweed will like run through this, and if I pull all the seedlings out. So game plan is going to be to leave everything as is and then wait for my herbs to kind of grow much higher above the chickweed, and then I will go in and finally weed the chickweed out. But yeah, not only that, but like I do have oregano just randomly put in here. This oregano I started from seed indoors, but chickweed and oregano, like this is chickweed, this is oregano, they're like identical. The only difference is like the chickweed has a more of a shiny leaf like this, and then the oregano has like has more trichomes on it, if you will. Okay, this is the tomatoes. These are all the ones I started from seed, so they're popping off, doing a good job. I need to mulch them, obviously. This year I did put a lot of flowers in between my tomatoes, so I have cosmos, nasturtiums, marigolds. I also have some seeds started, chrysanthemums, which I started from seed, zinnias, more chrysanthemum, zinnia, that I have no idea what that is, but that is pumpkin, a white pumpkin specifically. And then I am doing the gravity fed watering system, which I've shown you guys. I did a video on it, so that is fully installed. Again, I need to go in and actually like prune some of these guys, get them all nicely clipped up. We are doing the puppeteering method once again because I love it. I love it. It's the best way. It's the only way to do it. More tomatoes. These are my sun sugar suns or something like that, and they're pretty heavy. Like I've got 3 clusters that have already yielded pretty little cherry tomatoes. So cherry tomatoes are in my future very soon. And yeah, that's kind of what this space looks like. I never weed that. I never weed it. They just don't pose any sort of a threat or competition to tomatoes. All I will do is I will mulch them, and then I'll kind of let the flowers, like there is seeds started in here. So there's like zinnias in here. These are pumpkins. That's like sorrel. There's carrots right there. So there's a mix of different flowers in here. So it's not just weeds, but anyways, I don't weed regardless. I just throw mulch on top because like I said, they're not, chickweed if anything is going to act as like a mulch, a cover for less soil erosion, which is perfect. That's all I got for you guys. So we are officially in the everything is green and only some things are flowering stage. Wonderful, I know. And that's it. That's all I got. Unfortunately, if things really start taking off and I start seeing a lot of fruit and a lot of flowers, I'll do like a mid-July tour, but otherwise we'll do a tour in August, because this year is a very, very, very slow start, like shockingly slow, and not in a good way. So yeah, we'll see what we get type thing. I'm like trying to think to myself, Ashley, why are you low energy? Like, just suck it up, buttercup, because that's usually my attitude. But then I realized, oh yeah, I need to give myself grace. It's my birthday last week. And when you have infertility, your birthday is like the most dreaded thing on the planet. Combo that with, I have to give myself shots now, which anyone who's gone through this is like, knows exactly what I'm talking about. At home. Ugh. Anyways, tough as nails. It's the red hair. Then my mom's death anniversary, because I don't really know what else to call that. The anniversary of my mom's death, year one, is, yes, nearly the same week as my birthday. Combo that with a husband's loved one that he's very close with. I don't want to say who it was because it's just kind of private. And I don't think his family would appreciate me saying who it was. But an individual that Bobby was very close with passed away from the exact same thing that my mom passed away from, which is like mega ick, like icky. It was incredibly hard to watch, and they passed away like 3 days after my mom's death anniversary, so going through the ringer. So that explains why I'm so low energy. So I do have to be nice to myself to an extent. So I don't have to explain to you guys, but I know that you're going to be worried, and many of you are going to DM me and be like, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm just mentally tired is the word for that.